everyone, today I'm going to show you how to crochet this super cute Soot Sprite jewellery holder. As you can see, I use it for all of my necklaces, but it'll work with bracelets, earrings, whatever you want. The only thing you need to worry about is that it has a clasp. So if you're doing earrings, obviously you just hang it wherever, but if you're doing necklaces or bracelets, they need a clasp because of the way it is. These are closed loops, so to hang them, if it's a bracelet or a necklace, you need to be able to unclasp it and clasp it again. If it's just a full loop, you won't be able to hang it on. I mean, I guess you could put it on the side and slide it all the way down, but then you have to kind of unslide it to get it off, and that's just a lot of effort, you know? So yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get started. So to get started, all you will need is black yarn and white yarn, crochet hook. I'm using regular DK size yarn with a 2.5mm hook, but it will work with any size yarn, any size hook, depends on how big you want it to be. And then you'll need scissors and a needle to sew everything together. There isn't that much sewing, it's just the eyes and the flowers. The actual Soot Sprites are connected without any sewing, so that's nice. And then whatever colours you want for the little stars. So I have this nice kind of teal, yellow, pink and orange. Obviously you can do whatever colours you want. Those are just the ones that I like. So we'll get started with the black. Move all of these out of the way. Sorry, my desk is a mess. I have two blacks in case you were confused what that's about. That's just in case I run out. You don't need two blacks. So to start with, we're going to do a magic ring. I always do a double magic ring because it's slightly more secure. So basically I wrap around twice like this. I might post a tutorial about that because I know a lot of people get confused with the double magic ring, but we're not going to do that in this video. You can do whatever, you can even just do a slip knot chain too if you want, but I do a double, and then into that double you're going to work 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then close the magic ring however you need to close it, or don't close it if you did a slip knot and then a chain 2. But for me, I have to close it. Here we go, that's row 1, and then for row 2 you're going to do 6 increases. So in each stitch you do 2 singles, so 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, and a 2. And now you should have 12 stitches all the way around because we've increased from 6 to 12. And now we're going to keep increasing in rows of 6. So now we have 12, we're going to increase to 18. And the way we're going to do that is single crochet, and then in the next stitch you do an increase, like so. And then a single crochet, and then an increase, and you do that pattern 6 times all the way around. So I've done it twice, and we'll do it a 3rd time, a 4th time, a 5th time, and a 6th time, a 6th time. Said that weirdly. And now we have 18, and then again we're going to increase to 24. Keep going in 6s, and to do that you're going to do 1 single, 2nd single, and then an increase, and then repeat that 6 times. So that's 1, and then single, single, increase 2, single, single, increase 3, single, single, increase 4, single, single, increase 5, single, single, the yarn got a bit caught there, single, increase 6. And now we're up to 24. And then for the last row, we're going to increase to 30. Again, up in sixes, and the way you're going to do that is 1 single, 2 single, 3 single, followed by an increase. So you can see the pattern there, and then you do that 6 times. So I did it once, and then I've now done it twice. 1, 2, 3, increase 3 times, 1, 2, 3, increase 4 times, 1, 2, 3, increase 5 times, and 1, 2, oh, messing up here, 3, and increase 6 times. And you should have this circle shape. It might look a little bit like a hexagon because we've done the increases in the same spot, but once we add the legs and the fluffy border, it will look more like a circle. It won't look too much like a hexagon anymore. So that's why I didn't bother staggering the increases or anything, because there's not much point. So yeah, now we're going to do the little kind of fluffy border and the arms in the next row. And to do that, start off with just a slip stitch so it smooths it over. Because we're not increasing any stitches anymore, we're now doing slip stitches. This is as big as it's going to be. And then to do each bobble, basically what you're going to do is chain 3, 2, 3, and then do a slip stitch and do another slip stitch. So there'll be 2 slip stitches in between each one. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then again slip stitch and a slip stitch. And as you can see, this pattern makes these little kind of bubbles that will make it look fluffy, basically. Once you do that though, those 2, I'm going to start doing the arms. So for the arms, you chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Just get a bit of yarn. My yarn is getting very tangled. It's because I didn't do a centre pull. It's my own fault, because I can never find a centre pull. So, oh well, it's fine. I'll deal with it later when it becomes all knotted. So yeah, chain 11, and then you're going to skip 5 stitches. So if you see the chains we've done here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip the 5 and go into the 6th one from the hook and do a slip stitch, and then slip stitch all the way down. So you did 1 slip stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then you should be all the way down. And this little hole at the end here is where you're going to thread, well, if it's a hand, it's where you're going to attach the next Soot Sprite, and if it's a leg, it's where you're going to hang whatever jewellery you want from. You can see there's a little hole for you to thread a necklace or a bracelet through. And the hands and the legs are done the exact same way, so we're going to keep going around. Once you've done an arm, you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and then continue on by doing chain 1, 2, 3, followed by 2 slip stitches, chain 1, 2, 3, followed by 2 slip stitches, and then we're going to do yet another arm, or this time it will be a leg, because this is the way we're going round. So chain 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, skip 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into the 6th one, and then 6 slip stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, slip stitch into the next stitch, and then again you do the chain 3, 2 slip stitches, make 2 bubbles, and then do the next leg. I'm going to skip ahead because I'm trying to make this video as short as possible. So here I've skipped ahead, and now I have 4 limbs, and then I'm just going to do the slip stitch after limb number 4, like so, And then basically to get to the start, you're going to do the same pattern we've been doing. So chain 3, 2, 3, 2 slip stitches, chain 3, 2 slip stitches, chain 3. Bit hard to see because it's black. Black yarn is the worst. 2 slip stitches, 1, 2, 3, 2 slip stitches, and then 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, this is where we started, so we're not actually going to do 2, we're just going to do 1 because we started with 1. So if we end with 1, there's still that 2 slip stitch gap in the middle. So we're just ending with 1, we're back at the start, and then you cut, leaving just enough of a tail that you can weave in the end, like so. And you can see you've got the shape of this little Soot Sprite guy. Now the first one is easy because you just make him and he's by himself. For the, sorry, my camera keeps shaking, that's really irritating, I apologise. My desk is really shaky. For the other ones, because they're not sewn together, you attach them while you crochet. They're a little bit more complicated, but basically for the next one, what you're going to do is make it exactly the same way, but stop once you get to the last limb. So do everything the same way and stop once you get to the last limb, and then I will explain how you attach it. Okay, so as you can see here, I've made a second one and I've gone 3 limbs and I just need the last arm. And the way we're going to attach it is chain 11 as normal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But then what you're going to do is take your hook out, pull a little bit just so you don't accidentally unravel it, and then you're going to thread this through the hole in the left arm. So if I thread like this, you can see his arm is sticking out the side, and this is the little bit kind of confusing, annoying bit that we're going to do. So as you can see, it brings the yarn with you as well, which is why it can get a little bit confusing. So you're going to want to pull this tight again, so it's around your hook, and then count back 5 as normal. I like to pull a really big bit through. So count back 5 as normal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to stick my hook into the 6th one, which is where obviously you're gonna work. And then if you take it out, you can see it's looser than the other stitches. So I know which one I'm working into, because you're gonna thread the hand back along, and then you're gonna work back 5. Now, if the hand was already there, it's hard to count back 5 because it's going through the hand. But because of this loose stitch, I know I'm working into this one. Now, this bit of yarn, you can see, is still going through the hand. That's annoying, but it's not going to matter because once we get to the end and we cut it, it's not going to be threaded through here still, if that makes sense. So just bear with me. Do the 6 slip stitches as normal. 2, 3, keep pulling it through. 4, 5, 6, and then again slip stitch back into the body, and you can see that they're now basically holding hands. Now, like I said, the yarn you're crocheting with is now looped through, which is very irritating to crochet with, but it won't matter at the end. So just make it really loose if you want, so that it feels like it's not going through there. And then we do as normal, chain 3, 2 slip stitches, 2, 3, 2 slip stitches, 1, 2, 3, 2 slip stitches, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, and finally just the 1. And then when you cut leaving a tail, you can now pull back to your yarn, and you can see it disconnects. Now this is why we connect on this arm and not connecting this arm to that arm, because then when you're crocheting the rest of the body, the yarn is pulling through the hand and it's just really awkward. So that's why we do it on the last arm. So yeah, you can see their little hands are linked together now, which is really cute. It means you don't have to sew anything, because I know sewing sucks. If that was a bit confusing, you can just make separate ones and sew them together. Obviously it'll work fine, but this is how I like to do it, because sewing just irritates me, so I don't want to connect them all together. And now that you've got two little guys, you can make as many as you want. You can do 10, 20, I just did 4 because I don't have that many necklaces, but if you wanted to do necklaces and bracelets, you might want loads, or if you just wanted them as little like decor for your room, you can like hang them like from the ceiling or something. That'd be super cute. You could do loads, you could do 50 if you wanted. But obviously once you do the next one, you will end up with this hand and you will connect it to here again, and so on. So it will be extending on this left side. So I'm going to stick with 4, so I'm going to make 2 more and connect them, and then I will get back to you on how you do the face and the flowers. And here we have it. We have 4 little Soot Sprites attached by the hands. They're all holding hands, super cute. And then once you've done that, it's time to do the face. So for the eyes, obviously you need white. Let me find the end here. So what you're going to do is make a magic ring, like so, chain 1, and then do 8 half doubles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, getting caught, and 8. And then you're going to close the ring. As tight as you can. And then into the first half double you did, you're just going to do a slip stitch to close it, like so. And as you can see, that's how you do an eye. So cut, I think this tail is long enough for me to sew on, so this one I'm going to cut short for tying a knot. But if your little start tail is short, then obviously cut, leaving a long enough tail to sew on. And you can see that's how you do a cute eye. So I'm going to make a second one, and then I'll show you how I attach them to the face. So let me just make this one really quick. Magic ring, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then close the ring. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slip stitch. Is that the right stitch? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Slip stitch and cut. And then, as you can see, you have these 2 super cute eyes. So to sew them on, get your needle. Mine is in this little like book of needles here. And like I said, this side is short enough so that I'm gonna, I didn't need to cut a long one here, so I'm gonna use this one first, and I'm gonna sew it onto the one right on the end just because it's easier. So obviously you'll have this bit here, but I'm gonna use this tail to embroider the pupils. So I'm gonna leave it for now. So on the edge of your eye, I want to put my hook 1 row inwards. So obviously you have the bumpy row, and then you have this row. So I'm going to go kind of along the bump right next to the arm, 1 row in, so this along this line, right along the edge, as you can see. Leave that, and then I'm using this tail to actually sew it on. So because this one is in the center, I'm going to go 1 row inwards, put my hook, my needle, and as you can see, this is where it is. Now for this bit, obviously you just pick a stitch, go up through 1 stitch, pull it tight, it's kind of going to get a bit tangled, but that's just what happens. And then down through the next stitch, up through one stitch, down through the next stitch, and keep going all the way around the eye. I don't know why I keep pausing. Like so, as you can see, round eye, and then, yeah, as you can see, it gets a bit tangled. You can tie a knot and then either cut it or weave in the ends. So I like to do a 3 knot, and then I will weave in the ends because I think it looks a little bit neater, but obviously you don't have to, you can just cut it. So to weave in the ends, I just like to stick my hook kind of in the middle of some stitches, like this, pull through so you can't see it on the front, and then you can keep kind of zigzagging it or not, I don't think it really matters. So just like that is good enough for me because no one will see this side anyway. And then obviously weave in the second side and then sew the second eye exactly the same on the other side. So once you've sewed the eyes on, like I said, I'm going to be using the tail from the original magic ring. If yours isn't long enough and your other one isn't long enough, just cut another piece of black yarn and use that, and then you'll just have to knot and tie it off at the end, but I'm going to use this. And then to embroider the pupil, basically what you're going to do is a bunch of lines. So I'm going to go up here, and you're going to avoid kind of the end of the stitches with a little like plait shape up the bottom, and then across to the top, still avoiding that plait shape. And if you leave it like this, he kind of looks like a cat in the sun with like those slitty, creepy eyes. My cat does the exact same thing. But if you want it to be cute, basically keep doing that. And if you keep doing it, the pupil will kind of expand its shape like this. And then if I do one the other side, if I can get it through like this, you can see that the eye is super cute now. And yeah, just obviously do that for the second eye, and then again weave in all the ends. So here is what your little sprite should look like now. And then obviously for the last step is to add the flower. If you don't want to add the flower, you don't have to, but I think they just make them look cuter. So I'm going to show you with the orange yarn. What you're going to want to do is, again, make a magic ring. I know basically this whole project is just magic rings, but it'll look cute in the end, trust me. So once you've made a magic ring, you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch back into the magic ring, and then do this 4 more times. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and once more, 1, 2, 3, and so you should have 5 petals, that, and then close the magic ring like so, and then as you can see, you have this cute little flower. And then to sew this on, thread the needle, stick your hook right down the hook. I keep saying hook, I'm used to crocheting, not sewing. Needle right down the middle, and then I like to place the flowers here because this is where the round started and ended. So as you can see, it's kind of a little bit uneven compared to the rest of them because of the like slip stitches. So I like to put it in this corner because it basically hides that unevenness. It hides kind of the ugly start and end of the round. And then thread the other one, go down 1 row further, turn over, tie a knot. I like to do a triple, like I said. And then you weave in the ends. Oh, I dropped my needle. You weave in the ends and you have this cute little Soot Sprite. And then just do the same thing for the faces, eyes and flowers on the rest of them. And here you have it. Here's your cute little Soot Sprite jewelry organizer once you've done all the eyes, all the flowers. Look how cute. So thank you so much for watching. If you make it, tag me on my socials, I'd love to see. I'm at mythologic_ on TikTok and Instagram. Subscribe, like if you want to see some more. I have some more Studio Ghibli stuff. I have a video on how to make these, a whole box of them here. These Soot Sprite pins using old bottle caps to put on your bag and stuff. And then I have some, I haven't made the tutorials yet, but if you guys are interested, I made this Totoro pin using a can tab from a can of dog food, and then more bottle caps. I have this Kiki, I have this big Totoro, I have two different no face ones, and then I also have my favorite one is the cat bus. I think this one is really cute. So if you want to see any of them as tutorials, comment down below because I will make them for you. I haven't filmed them, but I will make them. So yeah, subscribe and like if you'd like to see that. Thank you so much. I will see you soon, so bye.